Hi guys, it's Sam and I am back today to do a really cool tag. It is the Ultimate Harry Potter tag and I was tagged by its creator Issy and it is just super cool. It's 30 questions grouped into several different categories all about Harry Potter, the books and the movies, and it's just really cool, and so I'm excited to do this tag because, as you guys know, I love Harry Potter. Anything to do with Harry Potter, big part of my childhood and teenage years, and I just can't wait to do it. So let us get started on the Harry Potter, the Ultimate Harry Potter tag. So the first section is just general questions, and the first one is your favorite book. This one is easy for me. It has always been and always will be Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I just love this story. I just love Sirius. He's one of my favorite characters. I love Lupin. I love the whole plot line. I love Harry in this book. I love Ron and Hermione. Just everything about this book I love. It is always going to be my favorite. Question number 2, your least favorite book. I think for me it's actually going to be Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I'm not really sure specifically why I didn't like this book. I think them not being at Hogwarts really threw me throughout the whole book. I think it's also because it was the last one and that made me really sad because it came out when I was 19 and it was like an end of an era, and that made me really sad. And I don't typically like the last books in series, I think because I hate it when things end, which is probably why I usually like the first book in a series, because I like it when things begin. Like Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite of the Lord of the Rings books. But I don't know, it's just a combination of things, I guess. Those being some of them. Yeah. So that's what I choose for my least favorite Harry Potter book. The third question, your favorite movie. So I actually am not really a fan of the movies, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've only ever watched all of them once and hated almost every single one because of how different it was. These haven't always been my favorite, but I would have to say my favorite movie of them all was actually the third one. I just really liked how he did it because this is when the books kind of started to get a little bit more dark, and I thought that he did a really good job, the director, in doing that and kind of portraying that. I liked how they stuck, in my opinion, the closest to the story in the third one too, which I also really enjoyed, so I like the third movie. The fourth one is my least favorite movie. That was number 4 because they left a ton out and they changed quite a bit, and I remember, I haven't watched it since it came out, but I remember them changing a bit and leaving a lot of stuff out, like Spew. They left out Spew. That was the hilarious part of the book. So it's always been my least favorite of the movies. Now on to the next section, which is characters. Favorite Weasley. Fred and George. Since they're twins, I'm going to put them together. I always loved Fred and George. I appreciated their humor and just how fun they were, and so they were always my favorite of the Weasleys. Number 7, favorite female character. I'm gonna go with Issy on this and say McGonagall. I always loved McGonagall. I loved her sass. I loved how she was just a strong character. She was smart and she was awesome, and I loved interactions between McGonagall and Umbridge in book 5. Those were some of my favorite scenes in that book. Hands down. Perfect. McGonagall is full of sass and she is awesome. Number 8, favorite villain. Honestly, with this one, I'm gonna go with the Malfoys in general, since they're a family and they're all kind of jerks, because I feel like it was complicated, especially in the 6th and 7th book, when you really get to know a little bit more about the Malfoys, I guess, and what was going on, and how even Draco was conflicted about what he was doing, and his mom, and how his dad was really more the jerk of the family. I don't know. I just found that whole thing interesting, and just basically the whole Malfoy, Harry, Ron, Hermione interaction throughout the whole book. So I'm going to go with the Malfoys as my favorite villain. Villains, I should say. 9, favorite male character. Hands down, Sirius Black. Sirius Black was always my favorite character. I loved Sirius. I don't know why, I just loved Sirius. And so I just bawled when he died in book 5. That just broke my heart. I was just awful. Yes, so Sirius is my favorite male character. Number 10, favorite professor. Favorite professor was Lupin. I loved Lupin. He was their best defense against the dark arts professor. I thought I would have loved to have him as a professor. He was awesome. He would have taught you a lot and made it fun, and I think that was really cool. So Lupin is my favorite professor. So on to the next section, would you rather? So number 11, A, wash Snape's hair, or B, spend a day listening to Lockhart rant about himself. B, I'd rather listen to Lockhart rant about himself because I can't watch somebody else. Especially Snape's hair. No, I can't. I hate Lockhart, but I'd rather listen to him rant. Yeah. Number 12, duel A, an elated Bellatrix, or B, an angry Molly. I think B, well, I wouldn't want to duel either of them, and I'm going to have to say A, Bellatrix, because I don't really want to duel Molly. I don't want to fight her at all. I can't imagine what I would do to duel her. And Bellatrix is so full of herself that she might be easier to duel because you can, like, you know, while she's gloating and being all cocky, catch her unawares with some tricky little charm or spell. So, going with Bellatrix for this one. Number 13, travel to Hogwarts via a Hogwarts Express or B, a flying car. Hogwarts Express is like the best way to get to Hogwarts. I mean, you're on a train, going through beautiful countryside, beautiful scenery, get to hang out with other students, get that little food trolley going by. It would just be cool, and I'm pretty sure I would crash the flying car. So, Hogwarts Express, definitely. Number 14, A, kiss Voldemort, or B, give Umbridge a bubble bath. I'd rather give Umbridge a bubble bath. No, that's, ew, kiss Voldemort? Oh, God, no. Oh, the horror. No, I'd rather give Umbridge a bubble bath, which would probably be just as horrific because that woman's psycho. But, you know, like Issy said, you could do something to her bubble bath. So, if I had to choose, the lesser of the two evils would be giving Umbridge a bubble bath. Number 15, A, ride a hippogriff, or B, ride a firebolt. Firebolt. I'm pretty sure I would like slip off a hippogriff, and I don't trust my coordination skills enough to hang on to a hippogriff, and I'm a klutz, which being a klutz would probably harm me just as much as on firebolt, but I'd rather take my chances with a firebolt. It's not a living thing, so I feel like it would be less erratic, therefore I'd feel a little bit safer. So, plus it's just a cool fast broom, so a firebolt, definitely. Now on to the next section, book to movie adaptation. Is there a character which you felt differently about in the movies versus the books? I'm going to say Tonks for this one. I liked Tonks a lot better in the books. I felt like her spunk and all that was portrayed better in the books, of course, than it was in the movies. I just didn't feel like, I don't know, I just didn't like the character of Tonks in the movies, whereas I loved her in the books, so Tonks. Number 17, is there a movie you preferred instead of the book? No. No, I didn't. As I said earlier, I wasn't really ever a fan of any of the movies per se, so definitely preferred all of the books over any of the movies. Number 18, Richard Harris or Michael Gambon as Dumbledore. Richard Harris, I really liked him in the first one. I like Michael Gambon as an actor, and he did an okay job as Dumbledore, but it was not as good, in my opinion, as Richard Harris. Unfortunately, Richard Harris obviously passed away, was unable to continue his role, so, but if he had not have, I would have loved to have seen him finish his role throughout all of the movies. I think he would have done an excellent job. Number 19, your top thing, a person or event, which wasn't included in the movie that annoyed you most. Spew. I was really sad that Spew, Hermione's House Elf Liberation Front thing, was not in the movies. I thought that was fantastic. I love that she did that. I thought it was just a hilarious aspect of the book, plus kind of inspiring that she was, you know, showing compassion for fellow magical beings and how they were oppressed. I thought that was great, and I was really sad it was not in the movies. 20. If you could remake any of the Potter movies, which would it be? The fourth one. I did not like how they did it all. I mean, I know it's a big book, but I feel like they could have included some of the elements more, not changed some of the things they changed. It was just my least favorite of the movies, and it would be the one that I would remake. Number 21. Which house was your first gut feeling that you'd be a part of? Of course, everybody wanted Gryffindor because that's where Harry, Ron, and Hermione were. I really, really wanted to be a Gryffindor. I thought maybe I would have that oomph that gets you into Gryffindor, that courage. And so, of course, I was hoping it would be Gryffindor, but I also suspected it might just be Hufflepuff. Which leads us to number 22. Which house were you actually sorted into on Pottermore, or another online sorting quiz? Mine, of course, was Pottermore, and it was Hufflepuff. My suspicion was correct. I am a proud Hufflepuff. That's right, I proudly wear my yellow. It's not a bad distinction. We're nice people in Hufflepuff. Number 22, which class would be your favorite? I think Charms. Charms would be my favorite. I think learning all those little fun spells and things that you can use in everyday life would be really cool and would be really useful. So Charms would be my favorite class. Number 24, which spell do you think would be the most useful to learn? Reparo, to mend things, because I'm a klutz and I break things all the time and I damage things. So to have that spell in my arsenal would save me a lot of grief in life. Yes, I wish I had magic so I could use that spell. Number 25, which character do you think at Hogwarts you'd instantly become best friends with? Fred and George Weasley, I think. I appreciate their sense of humor. Got a little bit of a jokester in me, I think, and I would just get along with them. I'd appreciate their sense of humor, and if they can make me laugh, yeah. I love laughing, and people who make me laugh, I just love it. So, Fred and George Weasley. Now, onto the miscellaneous category. Number 26. If you could own one of the 3 Hallows, which would it be? The invisibility cloak, because sometimes it would be nice to get around without anybody seeing you and to just kind of hide away under the invisibility cloak. You could hide under the invisibility cloak and read and not worry about anybody interrupting you, and that would be awesome. Number 27, is there any aspect of the books you'd want to change? This can be a character, an event, anything. Sirius Black dying. That apparently traumatized me because I've never been able to let it go. I just feel like she should have let him live, to let Harry have some part of his parents and his parents' past, a parental figure to him, is still live and be able to grow older and have him still in his life. I think that would have just been awesome to have Carrie keep that, because he lost so much, and I would have loved to see his and Sirius's relationship in his older years, even in book 7, to see how that would have played out as they were running from and leading up to fighting Voldemort. I would have just loved to have seen that, and so that would be the one thing I would change. Number 28, favorite Marauder. Sirius Black, of course, because Sirius Black is my favorite character. Number 29, if you could bring one character back to life, who would it be? You've guessed it. Sirius Black, because I miss Sirius. And finally, number 30, Hallows or Horcruxes. Hallows, like, the Horcruxes was totally a creepy concept, and, I mean, that's disturbing. No, Hallows, hands down, Hallows. Alright, that was the ultimate Harry Potter tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for tagging me, Essie, for creating this super awesome tag. You guys should go check out her channel. I will link it down below. It was a really, really fun tag to do, and it was great. And as to who am I going to tag, I'm going to tag Heather from Bookables. I am going to tag Carla from Books and Other Nerdy Things. And I'll think of some other people to tag, and you guys can just check down below to see if your name is in there. And even if it's not, do this tag because it's cool, and you should, especially if you love Harry Potter. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time guys, happy reading. Bye! Ow. That's right. I am a proud Hufflepuff. Say that 3 times fast.